So it sounds like you're changing from a parent into more of a mentorship role,
something like that. Yeah.
or to be a friend.
To be a friend, yeah. To be a friend.
And to be maybe probably one of the professional networks in your
I think
daughter's
as a
life.
friend,
Yeah.
because then you have this friendship so-called, right, with the child for 20 years. Yeah, I would assume that you have that
The
friendship.
continued
Yeah,
friendship.
whether it was a good one, not so strong one, but you were there.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes you're not there all the time, but there is a relationship
Yes.
to have been formed, to have that faith and belief that the young adult, whether you are ready to let go or not, the child has grown up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think what you mentioned is as a friend, besides being a parent itself, you also are a friend that draws a lot of boundaries. As a parent lah, I would
Yeah,
say. I think
correct.
normal friends already have boundaries. But
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
parent, even more boundaries.
Correct.
And of course, during this time, you will have a lot of conflict also.
Definitely.
And because the child has become a young adult, even more conflict because of what they want to do, right? How do you handle those conflicts and the boundaries?
I think it's about having mature adult conversation to say that, hey, I appreciate you come back at a certain time if you could.
Okay.
Yeah. If you are late, don't mind, just inform, because I'm concerned about sometimes, although I know you're adult already, I'm also concerned how you, is it safe for you? I think it's about respectfulness, because you're still living in the same household. Because if you don't do that, you just imagine it's a bit like you coming into a tenant and what you call
Like
it,
a hotel like that.
I want to say the word hotel, but I didn't want to say it because it can be very offensive
Yeah,
to the young
yeah,
adults who are
yeah.
listening in.
Yeah.
I think it's about respectfulness.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
mutual respectfulness.
Correct.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Because I think in a workplace setting also, we also show respectfulness.
Definitely.
Why
I
not
think,
at home? Yeah.
Definitely in a workplace scenario, because pay is involved.
Transactional.
Transactional.
Yeah.
I mean, okay lah. I mean, for parent and child, it's a bit transactional also, right, to say that. So, but on top of that, I think is the built relationship, like you mentioned earlier,
Correct.
the bond
Yes.
that makes it a bit more easier to I think move around those expectations.
Actually, when you talk about friendship itself, something that I've practiced since as a young parent until now, knowing and acknowledging that we make mistakes. That's also the boundary about respectfulness, that as parents, when we make mistakes, we are ready to admit it and apologize. And the adult child also, even when younger days, know how to say sorry. That repairs the friendship a long way. Yeah. in a
Yeah, so
sense.
that respectfulness, do you think it's just only a family value? I feel that it's a cultural and social value also.
It is
Yeah,
definitely.
so what the culture and the society expects from the young adult?
Definitely, because if you're in a working environment, you try not to be respectful, you try to be rude, and see what you get.
Yeah lah.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
definitely a expectation of the society lah.
Yeah,
I believe.
I do hear young adults saying that I'm just being honest. I'm just telling the person straight in the face what I think it is. I think there's a way to say it that's respectful without hurting others. So it's the same that this is the role model, just how we talk about challenging in terms of financial, in terms of work. So I'm thinking about the transition as a parent along the line. If I could add in this right now at this junction, is about the transition from academic life as a student to work life as a working adult.
Yeah.
How do we as parents support the adult child transiting this, because there's a lot involved in terms of like applying for a job, getting a job, and even navigating the work environment is a huge chunk. So that part itself is a challenge, which I feel that how do we parents support the child transiting into that itself?
I think in putting it the most simple terms is, and I always tell my clients, it's just to be there lor. Having your presence there. I think that's the most general way of putting it. On top of those minor details that we can go into, I think being there for them, I think that's really important. What do you think? Is that good enough?
I was going to ask you, being there, what does that mean? Because I think in the counseling context, we actually understand that being there. But for the people who are not into the counseling arena and the term, What do you think is being there for them?
Well, if I want to go further down into it, is being there is being physically there and also being emotionally available. I think these two are the most important things.
What about financially available?
I mean,
I'm turning the tables right now. What
yeah.
about financially available?
I think a lot of parents will do what they can for the, especially now. I think I've hear a lot of parents mentioning they will try to do whatever they can to provide financially, but if you are not able to, then I think the being physically there and the emotionally there makes up quite a bit for it. What do you think?
I think because if I've been in the working world for a while, there are some basic tips that we can be there for the child, like what are some of the things that they need to watch out for. Work is not just work. It's about also having a good working relationship with your colleagues. How are you functioning as a productive worker in the office? What is the attitude? I think that is also some guidance and tips you could give, like a student entering a new phase of their life. So you could give that, so that when your child goes to work office space, you're not there. But then with the tips, she can survive better and don't have so many knocks and pitfalls at the onset, and that will encourage the adult child to be more confident as they work, because it's a huge transition.
It's a huge chunk.
Yeah, it is a huge transition, because in school, teachers, you go there and sit and you learn. Whereas now you are supposed to be contributing based on your skill set. Then you actually will encounter a lot of adults of different age groups. Then how do you manage that compared to when in school you're having your peers?
Yeah. It's a different landscape and it's a different environment.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
if you can talk about it, you can probably talk about it for a whole day.
So it's about empathy, understanding what. That's why the being there is also having a nice meal for the
Okay.
I think the very fundamental of every family, like what I could say, and bringing my own values here right now, is about creating a space, being there for them, that the child can come back home to knowing that my mom, my dad, or grandparents are there for me, regardless of whether I do well or don't do well outside. The acceptance of who I am, that's very important. The acceptance, they say that whatever I do, I can be myself at home and can be relaxed. So that's the fundamental of whatever outside in the work world, what are the issues you're facing. I come back to a warm, nice family.
Yeah, I think provided, I need to make an exception, provided there's no criminal acts involved. Am I right to say that? Even with criminal acts.
Meaning?
That means don't do anything illegal outside lah.
Correct.
But even so lah, I think some parents are quite accepting.
That one is different arena. I don't know. I think we're talking about the more mainstream families.
Yes.
So
that's why I think we need to be clear on that. We're talking about the mainstream families.
Mainstream families. Anything that's outside of mainstream, of course, if you have issues then with the child, I will also recommend seeing a family therapist or family counseling, or in terms of family service centers, they provide certain services to support. I wouldn't say that it's always smooth sailing.
Definitely.
If issues that you cannot resolve yourself, do get external help. I think that's important.
Yeah, so then when we are talking about this, we also then go into the realm of emotional and psychological growth. Okay, so if we are to talk about this, I think building of confidence is really, really important.
Yes.
So I understand. I mean, from the clients I've been seeing, and I think you have seen your fair share, many young adults do struggle with self-doubt. What do you think are some of the strategies that parents or mentors can use to help them build confidence to making their own decisions?
I think when we ask self-doubt, where does this self-doubt come from? Why are they doubting themselves in terms of abilities, skills, image, appearance? Where is it coming from?
Don't know,
Sorry?
What if the parents don't know where the self-doubt comes from?
I think it will be more of talking to the child. Where is this self-doubt coming from? Because when you start doubting yourself, abilities, that's why I actually did a program, with children, social emotional learning. We did a lot on self-awareness. And honestly, in counseling, we also learn about self-awareness, and a lot of people don't know about themselves. What are they good at? How do I look? To be contented with the looks that we have. Yeah. So what is the insecurity coming from? It's very in-depth topic by itself. But when you have self-doubt, then you start to lose confidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Then you have anxiety about am I doing a good job?
Am I making the right decisions or not?
Yes, correct.
So from your experience, how could we help in this realm to help them like have a bit more confidence to make right decisions?
I would say that we need to look at, let's say if the parent, help the child to look at what is he or she good with, good at.
The strengths.
Yeah, to be the mirror, the strength that you said. We are so, sometimes the natural tendency to pick all the faults.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my program with children, we asked them to actually, there was one session where I had a blank piece of paper for them to write down what they're good at, strengths. Sean, do you know what happened?
Yeah, usually it's blank lah.
They struggled a lot.
Yeah. A lot of struggles, a lot of blankness.
And mind you, they were actually preteens. They had experienced quite a fair bit. It's not like I'm in primary school. Yeah, preteens, they cannot identify. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So then the teacher was like, how come they cannot identify? They say we need to work on this. All right. So if at a young age they don't know what they're good at, the strengths, how do you expect them to know immediately at 21
I think at this stage what we are talking about is then it's good to start young.
Correct.
Okay, to build that confidence. It's good to start young as parents also. At the same time, it's good to model being able to do it.
And not to keep finding faults. Even if the young time they didn't do it, I wouldn't say that at 21, 22 you can't. You still can be in the mirror and then using your lens, change the lens, not physical spectacle, but to change them to see the. It's not doable. I feel it's doable. It's whether we want to change the lens to find the good things in the child.
Okay. So
what are they good at? A lot of counseling cases I used to do in the past. Parents do struggle. The individuals struggle too, and it hurts their self-image. And what you said, self-doubt. So, but it's a journey that we can start at any point, any junction. It's more like, what am I good at? So I'm glad when I did the children's program, they started identifying. Of course, I will kickstart by giving them some examples. Very simple things like I'm good at baking, I'm good in whatever it is. It's not just the doing, but what is the, that day I just saw a young kid went to pick up a rock from the road. That's called kindness, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Don't have to do it, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, so kindness is also a value.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm kind, I'm generous, I'm helpful. So if this is self-awareness, so if let's say I start saying that, Sean, you look good today, I find that you're very helpful, does it boost your
Definitely,
confidence?
I feel good about myself.
So can you imagine as a parent, I do that to my child every day. The reinforcement in the mind that the self-doubt starts slowly, hopefully, evaporating to be replaced with confidence, positive self-image. So it's what you call in terms of reinforcing the positivity. Even as a parent, we are not used to it. We could always start.
So what we are saying here is it's never too late to start. Even with your praises, never too late.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and compliments, no matter how small, we could always start. Even when the child is going out for work, say, have a good day. Have a wonderful day ahead.
I think that's really, really important because some parents will come to me and say, I don't think I can do anything about it. But again, we always want to say it's never too late to start something.
Yes, correct.
I think that's very important. So
that's why we are having this conversation, and also for the viewers or the listeners listening in, is it's never too late. And I'm sure if you did hear us so far into this podcast and YouTube itself, you would have heard quite a fair bit. The thing is, the first step to even to listen to us means you are finding for some answers and solutions, isn't it? Yeah.
I think that's very important. So confidence building can start with words of affirmation. I think that's the most important on top of what other things we have mentioned about. Hello everyone. What if a child could paint what courage looks like or show you what sadness feels like through color? That's exactly what you'll discover at Celebrate, the Colors of Emotion, a unique art exhibition by Morningstar Community Services opening this June at Bedok Public Library, located within Heartbeat at Bedok. Unlike typical student art showcases, this exhibition is a result of social, emotional learning journey where children
aged 7 to 12 were guided through workshops to explore their inner world. They learned to recognize emotions such as joy, fear, and calm. They had to express them using shapes and colors and storytelling. Each artwork is more than a drawing, it is a feeling brought to life. From 6 to 29 of June, the exhibition takes over near the video wall at level 3 entrance of the library, complete with a silent video essay and also curated books to deepen the public understanding of emotional literacy. Come see how the children give voices to feelings and maybe even reconnect with your own.